That she doesn't believe, or you know what I'm saying? I mean, he voluntarily left.
Even more puzzling is this: if he's watching, they want him to hear this message.
He is not in trouble. His mom loves him. No matter what happened, she want to see him home.
What's good, guys? Welcome back to Missing Person Case Monday. But before we begin, guys, I just want to send you all out there love and light. I know this virus is literally taking over our lives. Like, it has impacted us in so many ways, more than one for many others. For me, I have to work from home, but to me, that's not a negative. I would rather work from home anyway. But my kids are out of school, so trying to find the balance, and I had to cancel my trip. We were supposed to go to Jamaica for spring break with the kids, so we had to cancel that. So it has affected us in many ways. A lot of the bars and restaurants will be closing today, and it's kind of good that the communities are coming together and making sure people aren't getting evicted, making sure people's lights and stuff are not being cut off. I think that is the most beautiful thing out of this whole thing, if that even makes sense, because this virus has literally taken over. So I did want to send you all love and light before we begin the video, and I hope that you guys work on your own crafts while we're in this, safe distance place. Read a book, work out, focus on some goals that you wanted to do that you really didn't get time to do. Now is kind of the perfect time. No, it's not the best circumstances. I mean, the kids may be home if you have children, but really sit down and let this time to really think about your future. Today, guys, I will be doing something a little different for Missing Person Case Monday. So 2 cases where there isn't a lot of information, I decided to just combine them together. And I think I'm going to continue to do that. That way, it's kind of like we get a 2-in-1, and it kind of, it just kind of makes the content a little bit better. But nonetheless, we will be able to spread their stories so that you guys can, if you haven't already heard about them, you guys can tune into their stories. So today we'll be talking about 2 missing person cases. So let's get into this video. So the first missing person case we're going to be talking about is 18-year-old Abdullahi Sharif. I'm sorry if I'm trying to mispronounce that. I even looked on YouTube to make sure I'm trying to get that pronunciation correct, because I can understand, people definitely, the missing, you want to say their names correctly. So I do apologize. But nonetheless, he is an 18-year-old who is missing. He is listed as 5'4" in height, 120 pounds. Last seen wearing a dark colored winter coat, khaki pants, and tennis shoes. Sharif is missing from the Des Moines, Iowa area. He was last seen at the Target where he currently worked. His mother dropped him off around 1:20 p.m. on January 17th, and he was scheduled to work until 5:30. But then around 5 o'clock, he called his mother and said that he would be working until 9:30. So around 9 something, the family, once again comes to the Target to pick him up, and that's when he was nowhere to be found. She then began to call him, but of course he was not answering his phone, and there was no whereabouts of where he currently was. And then she asked the Target where he may have been. So around 10 p.m. that night, she went back to the Target and asked if they had seen him, and they told her he left when the shift had ended around 5:30 p.m. There was surveillance footage of him leaving the Target around 5:30, where you see him walking. He has his cell phone and headphones on. Police were able to track that surveillance video where they were able to get footage of him across the street at the AT&T, and that was the last known sightings of Sharif. His cell phone has been untouched, meaning they haven't found any movements for the satellite, his bank account, social media. Police are saying, of course, he left voluntarily on his own free will, maybe potentially to meet someone. And, his parents, basically, they don't think that he would just leave to go, leave never to return. but the family has hired a private investigator who is working with the local police department in order to find him. And there also is a $5,000 reward for any leads on the whereabouts of Sharif. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Sharif, I will link everything down below so you guys can check out that information. Again, there's not a lot of information when it pertains to his disappearance at the moment. So I really am sending love and light to his family. I can only imagine, you know, what his mother and family is feeling. I was watching one of the interviews that she gave, and, you know, she believes that he just wouldn't leave, you know, and never to return. I am sending love and light to his family. So now we'll move on to the next missing person case, because both cases, again, guys, really do not have a lot of information. So I figured I'll bunch them together just in case someone ends up coming in at this part of the episode. Tamikqra Rogers was last seen on July 22nd of 1999. She was 24 years old at the time of her disappearance. Is missing from the East Point, Georgia area, and she went missing again on July 22nd, 1999. She was last seen around 5:30 a.m. that fateful morning, leaving to go to work and catch the bus. And that was the last time anyone had ever seen Miss Rogers. On the morning of her disappearance, she was wearing a white shirt, blue pants, also was wearing work boots. They don't really specify what color they were. They just say that the sizings were about a 10.5, and that was pretty much it. A ring, which also had a purple embedding inside of it. Sad thing about it all is she was on her way to work and she never made it to her destination. So somewhere in between her catching the bus, or maybe she didn't even catch the bus, you know, it's like somewhere in between there, something happened where Miss Rogers went missing, because people don't just go missing, things happen. So that is pretty much all the information that they have listed on her. Like, I literally searched high and low trying to figure out if there was any more information. If you find any more information, let me know so I can add it to another video when I do like an update on cases. But it just really was baffling that I could not find any information on her at all. Like, did people give up? I know she went missing in 1999, but it's like, damn, you know, nothing. Really do hope both families get the answers that they seek. I know it can be extremely hard trying to find your loved one, especially as years go by. I mean, we have one case of 1999, and then we have another, of course, for this year. You know, time is truly of the essence, and that's why it takes us, the audience, to really be kind of like their spokesperson and to really keep their name alive. As I can't stress that enough when it pertains to missing person cases. So guys, until the next missing person case Monday, I will see you guys. Bye guys.